Today, the House is going to hold its second hearing on the origins of COVID, and it comes with a warning from China.
The Chinese embassy here in the United States emailing Congressman Brad Wenstrup's staff to, quote, respect science and facts and refrain from targeting the country.
This, as the lab leak theory could soon become more than a theory and established reality, with former intelligence head John Radcliffe expected to say it's the only explanation for the outbreak. Congressman Wenstrup will chair today's hearing, and he joins us now from the Capitol. Mr. Chairman, thank you much for being here. What do you make of the Chinese response to this, and what do you hope to find?
Well, I was a little surprised by the Chinese response, but we're going to probably respond to them in kind in many ways. Look, Dr. Redfield once said that, the answers to the origins of COVID is not going to come from science. It's going to come from the intelligence community. But I will tell you at the same time, we've gotten this letter. They strongly oppose. They have grave concerns about us proceeding in this direction. I think that tells you something about their concerns about what they're doing. But if you look at our committee, the letter talks about us not being scientific. We have 7 physicians on the committee in a bipartisan fashion, and we've been bringing scientists in, and we'd be glad to bring in the Chinese scientists that were doing things like gain-of-function research and coronavirus research. The House and the Senate and the President signed us to declassify all the intelligence that they have on COVID-19 and the origins. Certainly that'll be heavily redacted, but we look forward to getting that. And also, I've been on Intelligence Committee for some time, and when we first got into COVID as a physician, I started digging into it. One of the first things I found is that the U.S. with China was able to create a gain-of-function type of virus, a chimera that is more infectious than 2 viruses that are separate. They make them stronger. So we know the technology exists. And here's some other things that we found out about what's going on in China at that time. The lab in Wuhan went from military to civilian control, and in the fall of 20, you had some of their researchers fall sick. You saw them destroy the sequences of the data that they had on the viruses that they had on hand. You start to add all these things up, and the fact that they were seeking grants for gain-of-function research and doing that in a low-security lab is quite a problem and very condemning, I would say.
Congressman, I know that John Radcliffe, former DNI director, is going to testify in front of your House subcommittee today. Fox News has exclusively obtained his prepared testimony in advance, and he is saying the only explanation for the pandemic is a leak from the Chinese lab. You said there are going to be a number of experts that you're going to hear from today. Do they all agree with him?
I think that we'll have one that might feel that they don't know yet, but that's someone who has not really been involved with all of this, hasn't been in the intelligence community for some time. And so I think you'll get a little bit of a more a differing opinion, I guess, if you will. But I would tell you what John, I think, is going to be talking about, John Radcliffe, is that when you look at the ledger of evidence, on one side, with nature, there's virtually none, and with the lab, it's very compelling. And I will tell you that the former CDC director in China, George Gao, has come out and said there is no evidence that this came from nature.
Well, it sounds like China is missing Dr. Fauci, because he was emphatic. Nope, not a lab leak.
Yes.
You're
so
right.
Let's see what happens. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. We know you got a busy day today.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks.
Not just about holding them accountable, but also making sure this doesn't happen again.